right, guys. Well, hey, welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Podcast, Classroom Edition. I got two studs with me today, both that have hit Hall of Fame, both that have got the red jacket. And so today, guys, I really want you to lean in and hear from them. What you're going to get is their thought process. So Gage and Jared have both hit Hall of Fame. We got a classroom setting right now. There's about 70 people in here. So for all you guys watching, we're going to go through some questions. They're going to get the questions, they're going to answer them, and they're going to go through as many as they possibly can. I know for myself, the best thing that helped me was getting some answers to questions that I had, right? And if you don't got any questions, you ain't moving fast enough. The time I have the most questions is, man, when I'm running fast and breaking things. It's like, okay, what's going on? Help me out here. I got chaos. But if you heard the same thing, you're like, I've heard that before. That means you've not executed. Because if you've heard it before and you've executed, now the next time you hear it, you'll hear it different because you're different. You've at a different level, different perspective. You're at a different pace. So the questions you ask will determine the quality of your business. Gage said it earlier, and I was like, that's good, so I'm going to steal it. It's the last time I give him credit, now it's mine. But questions, it's important. So guys, I hope this helps you. I hope it serves you well. If you guys could put your hands together for Gage and for Jared.
Right back there. First, yeah.
Okay, question for Gage. What date did you start the insurance with FFL, and how long did it take you to get 40,000?
So that was a great question. So the question was, when did I get started with Family First Life, and how long did it take me to start protecting 40 families a month? So I started in August of 2019. I think the first time that I wrote 40, or I protected 40 families was March of 2020. So what is that? I'm not a math whiz.
Yeah, like 6-7 months.
Huh?
Like 6-7 months.
Like 6-7 months, I would say. But the biggest difference from going from, protecting half of those families to 40 was me just figuring out why I didn't protect the family. So I think that's a better answer to the question, is I would figure out why I didn't help that family. Because when you take that perspective of, no, it wasn't them, it wasn't that they couldn't afford it, it was me, I messed up, I needed to figure out what I could have done differently, is when I started protecting more families, having that understanding that it wasn't them, it was me, and I needed to figure out what I did wrong to mess it up. So I hope that helps. Go ahead.
Can you go in more on that realization? Did you ever call the people you didn't sell to the first time? Did you ever call them back?
Did I ever call back the people I didn't sell?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. So what I do is I try to resolve every single lead. So I just keep them organized, either printed out in a binder or just on phone burner in folders. Now with the ILC, every lead is categorized. You can filter out each county and each lead type. And so if I didn't resolve the lead, I'd go back and call them again every single dial day. So, and I'm okay if you tell me no on the phone. I'll make you tell me no like 2 or 3 times on the phone and in person. I'm down. You want to yell at me? Let's go. That's cool with me,
And I think when you're in situations like that, if you utilize the CRM the right way, you can set in reminders that'll literally email you, hey, call me back in 2 months. Okay, no problem. Put it into your CRM, and then you'll get an email reminder 2 months later to reach back out to them. So just utilize the tools to the best of their abilities. They have reminders set in the CRM that will send you emails to remind you of a time frame or a time to give them a call back.
All right.
So when you're first starting out and your volume's kind of low, it's really easy to remember your numbers because you know the people's names you wrote for. But then when you start being a big ball of the mover and the shaker, I don't remember all the names and it's hard for me to keep up. How do you best keep up with your numbers each week to really set yourself as a leader to say, hey, how much did you grow this week? And you know your numbers like that. How is it best to keep up with the numbers?
Yeah, that was a great question. So the question was, what do you do when you're new? It's very easy to remember the people you help, but as you grow and help more and more families, it's easy to forget who they are and the numbers and everything. So I think that it's important to utilize Google Forms. What our group has done is we created a YouTube video of telling agents, hey, go watch this to create a running log of all your clients. And all it is a step-by-step video of how you can utilize Google Forms to create the list that you want. So their first name, their last name, their date of birth, their phone number, the policy number, draft date, beneficiary name, premium amount, banking info, like everything you would possibly need to, just in case if they got declined or it got sent into underwriting, you're not having to call them back and ask them all this sensitive information. You can reference that Google form. And one thing that I've done, I don't know if anyone else has done this, but every client that I've helped, I save in my phone either FEX or MTG. So I can literally go into my phone right now and show you guys. If I type in FEX on here, these are every client that I've sold a whole life policy to. And so then what I done to take it a step further, I'll give you a good example here. So I'll save the type, FEX is whole life, MTG is just a term product, that's how I categorized it. And then I'll put the company name, the product, the date, and what city that I helped them in. So it puts me right back in that moment of time. And twice it's helped me save a policy because it's put me back in that time frame. Like this lady called me from Washington, I live in Texas. I had the date, her name, and I remembered exactly that conversation. And she was educating her 2 kids on why this was important. And then 5 months later, she was trying to cancel the policy. And I brought her back into that moment of time. I was like, I'm confused as why you want to cancel your policy. You were teaching your children how important this was. Like, I get it, you may not see the value of it right now, but your kids are in school. At least keep it until they're out of school. Like, wouldn't you agree that's better than just canceling it now? She's like, wow, you're a really good salesman. You remembered exactly our conversation. You know what I mean? Like, but it put me back in that moment of time, and I tell you guys that story because it literally helped me save a policy. So just be intentional with your clients, and then you take it one step further and you can save a picture. You know, pictures really put me back in the moment in time. This dude didn't want to take a picture, which is completely fine, but I put in as much information as I can. If I go to MTG, it's the same thing. These are all my term clients. So I do it in a Google form and I do it with my contacts. So when they call me, it puts me back to the moment of time. So I hope that helps.
I do that same thing. So on the phone, save the name, save the number. Then I do it in Google Sheets. And then the other thing I was going to say is once you get so busy to where it's hard to juggle all those small things, delegate it. Hire somebody. Hire someone that's an assistant or office assistant that can do all that small stuff for you. You know, just think about what your time is worth. Is it better just to hire somebody and have them do that stuff where you can be writing a policy, help another family? And if you're too busy, then you should probably hire somebody.
And when you feel like you're getting overwhelmed by these different small tasks and it's time consuming, like start writing those things down. Like things you don't want to do, that's what you want your staff to do. So all those little nitty gritty things that frustrate you or time consume, write those down and keep a running log of that so then you know what you're looking for when you bring a staff on. I think that's a big tip as well once you get to that point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I have a question for both of you guys. Going back to day one, what's one thing you guys didn't do that you wish you would have done? And what's one thing
Speak
you
up.
did do that, or didn't do that you wish you would have done? And what's one thing you did do that you wish you would have done?
You want to start?
What's one thing we regret doing and one thing we're glad we did, kind of? The one thing I'm glad I did is I didn't overthink the business. I didn't try to figure out everything. I didn't try to do a big equation on how to be successful and what my cost and expense and all these different things. Like, I just didn't try to overthink it. I just said, okay, book 15 appointments on each dial day, run 30 appointments a week, So I'm glad I did that. That's one thing. And then the thing that if I could go back, what I would change, I would reach up quicker. I would talk to and plug into my managers, the people that are, that brought me into the business. I'd be bugging the heck out of them, like way more, because you're not going to bother them. Like, they're making money when you make money. So they're not going to be mad at you for reaching out to them for help. So that's one thing I wish I would have done better and quicker was reach up, reach out quick to everybody.
Yeah, no, that was a great tip. I think that one thing that I wish I would have done sooner that I didn't do was share the opportunity. I was so caught up in trying to think that I needed to figure it out before I could share with somebody else, and I didn't hire or recruit my first agent until 7 months in the business. So imagine how many more people I could have shared the opportunity to if I wasn't being selfish and thinking that I need to to figure out that I can do this so then other people can do it. Because there's a guy in our group that literally came in a year after me being here, and he's way better than me. And I've known him since I was 10 years old. So I'm like, dude, I apologize. You could be like a year ahead from where you're at. So just sharing the opportunity more right from the jump, I'd say is something that I wish I would have done sooner. And then one thing that I did that I don't regret is I didn't question the system. I didn't question the opportunity. I didn't question buying leads. I didn't question door knocking. I didn't question dialing the phone. So many people, when they're new, they're like, do the leads work? You know, is it okay to call after this time? Is it okay to door knock this door after this time? Like, I just didn't question things. I believed in the person who brought me in the business so much that I was just gonna do whatever he said. And I'm really grateful I did that, because now as I onboard people, I see them overthinking things. Just believe in the system, and it's a proven system at that. Go ahead.
So my question was, how do you control your schedule and instead of letting your schedule control you? Because I feel like in this business, like, you know, I'll be dialing all day, and then I'm booking like 8 or 9 appointments a day, and then I'm running all day, and I don't have time to do like the small things that you guys were talking about, like follow-ups or trying to recruit and stuff like that.
So the question was, how do you, I guess, schedule yourself and not let it just overrun and just be?
Run you.
How long have you been in the business for?
Well, I got started in August, but I didn't really actually start taking it seriously and go full-time until December.
Okay. So I would say the first few months just honestly feel like that. And I think you just embrace it, you know, move fast and break things, because eventually you'll start figuring out things you can do to be more effective and scheduled and everything. So if that's how you feel and you just start, hey, you feel like everyone else. and the reason why I don't give you exact tips is because things that I do that help me be structured, like, it might not help you much. So I would say, you know, keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing the right thing, and go full time. And I think those answers will just come naturally, what you need to do as far as your schedule.
Yeah, I think a big thing that you can do is you need to understand that activity conquers this business. So if you're taking massive action, that means you're speeding up your learning curve. So it's actually a really good thing at the beginning that you feel like your schedule's running you versus you running your schedule, because that means you're not putting in enough activity. So if you're feeling that way, then you're actually on the right path. And that's just the way this is when you first get started, is you have to get the reps in, and all these different things matter. So if you say that you don't have time for follow-up, you don't have time, like, we all have the same 24 hours, so if we can do it, you can do it too. It's just prioritizing yourself and being intentional with your schedule. Do you have a planner?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like time blocks, right? This hour, I have a planner that has 15-minute increments. And I'm trying to fill those 15-minute increments within the hour, each of those hours. So just be intentional with your time, because we all have the same 24 hours in the day. You're telling yourself you don't have time. You just got to make time for yourself. So I hope that helps.
So when it comes to like falling in love with the process, what are like some things that you dealt with in the beginning that you learned to love in the end, or like where you're at now, in order to like really love the process, wake up every day excited about to go to work and stuff like that?
The people for me, I mean, the question was, you know, what I guess it was what you fall in love with, or how do you fall in love with it? I think how you fall in love with the process is the people you meet. I mean, the everyday battles of you going out and meeting people, and it's the feeling of when you see someone crying in front of you, the feeling when you walk away with a plate of food, the feeling when an agent calls you and they say that they just helped their first family. Like, these things become addicting. Like that, that's me, you know, that's my type of personality. And so I became passionate about helping people, and then now it's never felt like work. It's just waking up every day and helping more people. How many people can I help today? How many people can I help next week? The whole 9 yards. So it's just the people in this business, your agents, your clients, they're the ones who you fall in love with. That's how you fall in love, is the people. But if you're not a people person, you got to buckle up, because it's going to be a long journey. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, man.
What motivates you guys the most to get out of your comfort zone?
The question was, what motivates you to get out of your comfort zone? I want to grow. You know, I'm not here for games, and I'm not here to just have a small piece of the pie. I mean, I'm here to change my financial future and my family's financial future. So, you know, I would say dream bigger. Have a way bigger vision. And if you don't see the big picture, get with some other people that can help you open your eyes and see the actual what's possible in the business.
And I mean, I think that question that you asked is a you question. What motivates you? You need to figure out your why. Your why is going to be the driving force of you continuously going. For me, myself, I grew up with a family where my mom was taking care of us. We were on Section 8, the whole 9 yards, food stamps, and I don't want that for my children. But at the same time, my mom sacrificed her life to give me life, so now I want to give her life in her latter years. So that's going to be different than you. So you had to figure out what is your driving force to get you to grow uncomfortable, because the uncomfortable part is fun. Like that's when you take steps forward. Look in hindsight at it. It's scary at first, these different things, but then you look at the uncomfortability and you run right through it. Like when Paul says, hey, can you come out to Apple Valley and spend a day with, like, that's uncomfortable for me to leave my home in Dallas, come out here, talk in front of a bunch of people I don't know, but I was excited because I knew it would make me grow. So it's you look at these opportunities to keep taking the next steps forward instead of going backwards. So I hope that helps.
So, whenever you guys experience a season where you feel like your production is falling behind in the standards you set for yourself, what do you guys reflect on and what do you do to fix it?
So the question is, when you get to a season where you're underperforming, what do you do to get out of that?
Yeah.
Every time I've underperformed, I just have an honest conversation with myself, look myself in the mirror and be like, dude, you didn't really work that hard this month, did you? No, I didn't. You know, and at the end of the day, it's every single month. It's like, if I'm not hitting my goals, I'm just like, yeah, dude, I know. I didn't really work that hard this month, and that's why I didn't hit my goal. So guess what? Buckle up. We're going to work next month. Today, actually. So I think if you just have an honest conversation with yourself, am I doing everything I can do? Am I waking up earlier than I have before, 4:30, 4 o'clock, whatever it is? Am I out dialing everybody in the office? You can do that. You know, are you door knocking all of your leads that don't answer? You know, are you running on weekends? Are you running on Sundays? Are you squeezing in extra appointments after your dials? So that's my answer.
Yeah, no, I think it always boils down to the activity. This is activity business. When you have the month that you don't expect to have, typically can look back at certain days or even weeks where you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And when you're in that scenario, you just have to really reflect and be honest with yourself. The best thing that could have ever happened to me is I was in a meeting like this in month 5, and Sean Mike asked me how many hours a week I was working, and he told me not to say 40 because he knew it wasn't 40 because I never wrote or helped 20 families that month. He's like, be honest with yourself. And I was like 30, 35. He's like, more like 20 to 25. Because if you were working 30, you'd be helping 20 families a month. And then I was just like, okay, I got to quit lying to myself. I got to be real to myself. And it's okay, because the cool part is you're self-employed, so you can fire yourself today and hire yourself in the same day. So it's just having that self-reflection on what I didn't do on those weeks and tracking your numbers. Because if you're going through a season and you're tracking your numbers, you'll see your numbers weren't aligning with the month prior when you were hitting those expectations. 100%. So being number focused is really big in this business.
How do you guys handle when like somebody comes at you like calling you a scam or like thinking that like you're just a collections?
Like over the phone?
Yeah.
You wanna?
Yeah. So the question is, how do you react? How do you react when someone's...
How do you like take control of the situation and like work around that? And, like,
Okay. So the question is how do you react or take control of a situation where a lead is calling you a scam? So I think like if you're getting that someone thinks you're a scam, you're probably not explaining to them who you are. My name is Gage. I'm getting back to you because you sent in a request online looking for some life insurance. I'm just a state licensed field underwriter here in Maricopa County that was assigned to get you back this information. Oh, you're a scam. Do you take picture text messages? Yes. Okay, cool. I'll send you a picture of my state license and my ID. I'm licensed by the state of California, and I'm reaching out to you because you sent in a request that's state regulated. So give me 2 seconds, and I'll send them a picture of my license. That's what I was telling someone earlier today, is have a picture of your license and your driver's license on your phone in your favorites. So if you run into situations like that, you can think on your feet, send them a picture, and then I tell them that, and I keep going back to the script, and then a minute later, I'm like, did you get that picture text message? Okay, cool. That's the lead. I'll send them their lead if it's a mail lead. If it's an internet lead, I'll just send them my license with my driver's license to show them a real person. So I hope that kind of helps.
Yeah.
Okay. We're taught a lot to have like some self-respect for ourselves, and it's kind of hard because sometimes you get people that you can tell aren't taking you seriously, but you're trying to like overcome it, you're trying to get out there, and we're also told like if people cancel, still go out, but it's like I'm trying to have some self-respect, and they just canceled on me. Why would I waste my time going out? Like, how do you balance between who you spend time with and who you don't give enough time because you've got a bunch of other people to take care of?
So the question is, how? So let's see. Yeah. So you want to figure out how do you
Maintain self-respect for yourself without wasting too much time on someone that doesn't really respect you and isn't taking you seriously.
I mean, so the question is, how do you take your time and resolve each lead if maybe they're texting you and telling you not to come or whatever else? I mean, I realize that if somebody called me randomly and if my request wasn't present right now, maybe I forgot about it, like, and you're a stranger calling me, I'm probably not going to be that interested in having a conversation. So like, I don't take it personal that somebody isn't like so hyped up that I'm coming out to see them. So I just go. Like, if somebody tries to cancel my appointment, I'm still showing up. Like, you're not going to get me to not show up to your house. I'm coming to your house. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So I think having respect for yourself and respecting your clients, I mean, I think you just do everything you can and don't take it personal. I don't know if that's kind of what you might be feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is like how you prioritize who you see and who you don't see. I mean, if at some point in time you were able to book the appointment, it made sense what you were explaining to them. But like what Jared was saying is you were a stranger, called them up out the blue, and now you booked an appointment and they're having buyer's remorse, right? They're like, oh, like, this guy's gonna come sell me. A salesman's coming over the house. Or the wife is, or, the spouse is like, why you tell them to come over? I didn't want anyone to come over during COVID, like whatever the circumstance may be. But what I did when I was new is I went to all my appointments. If I booked them, they told me no, I went to them because it was an opportunity to speak with that person in person. Now, if they're not there, it is what it is. It sucks. It really is what it is. You just chalk it up as an L, and you're on to the next. But as I grew, and started booking, more and more appointments, I could qualify them over the phone. And I would give them a reason to call me. And instead of not answering my phone, I would start actually answering my phone. But that transition, because I was prioritizing my time a lot more because my time was more valuable than the money. Whereas a lot of times we have time, but we don't have the money. So then we need every opportunity we can get. So that transition just happened as I started getting more capital, as I started helping more families, and I had more people that were looking up to me for help at the same time. So if you're out there just doing it by yourself, I just go to all the appointments, if that makes sense.
So a new agent that comes on and wants to do a combination between building and obviously selling at a high level, how would you have them structure their day to both have massive activity in building, dial on the phones, or selling, dial on the phones, and basically building? What activity specifically within their daily routine would you have them do?
The question is, how do you help an agent that wants to write full-time and build a business? How do you structure their schedule?
Yeah, or the week.
So my recommendation would be to book 15 appointments in your dial day, get it done as quick as possible, and then every hour after you book your 15th appointment, you spend recruiting and building your business. So that would incentivize somebody that's new. Dude, I want to build a business. I don't want to spend 10 hours dialing. So I'm going to dial hard for 4 hours, book all the appointments I need, and that gives me 10 more hours to build the business 2 days a week. That's 20 hours a week.
That's like no staff. That's outbounding messaging, or are you in person, like going to like one-on-one talk to people?
All the above.
All the above.
I think Trey hit on the head. Like, if you can just take 2 to 3 people a day from not knowing about FFL to knowing about FFL, that's a win. So start small. Instead of saying, hey, you need to do this, 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 this. Like, it's like, you need to book your 15 appointments, and then after you book your appointments, that's the time when you can recruit. Wake up an hour earlier, start sending out messages on social media. At night, start sending out messages social media, whatever that is. If they're more of a night person, do it once you're out the field, when you're back home. If they're a morning person, have them wake up a little bit earlier or dedicate an hour of their time to send out messages on social media, to put stuff out there. But if you can just take 2 to 3 people a day, which, like what Trey was saying, is you have a contact list of a ton of different people. Have them go through their contact list and start there. So then they're getting that muscle built of talking about the opportunity and then getting them to speak with you. Because that's really what it should be. When a new person's new, you can't expect them to recruit the world. You just need them to get them to find interest to bring to you. So they leverage you to speak with them. Their job is just to get people to speak with you. So simplify it by just saying, go through your contact list, people you know, go through your social media, people that are in your network you may have not talked to in a long time. Say, I'm doing this new opportunity, or I'm loving whatever I'm doing, and my manager would love to speak with you. When would be a good time that you could speak with him, or whatever, or he has a time tomorrow between 1 to 4 o'clock. Like, if you simplify it like this, you can overwhelm them by giving them too much things to do, but just simplify it by telling them, hey, give me 2 to 3 people a day to talk to about the opportunity. I'll close them for you on the opportunity. And if you really want, we can do a 3-way call so you can hear me speak to them. Does that make sense? Like, just keep it super simple at the beginning, not telling them to throw in a bunch of money. Like, just, they have a network of people. You taproot into their network immediately, and then once they run out of their network, that's when you start spending money on someone trying to headhunt or get people in contact with. So I hope that helps. Yeah. But keep it super simple, man. It's like we all have 24 hours in a day. The people that tell me that they don't have time, you're telling yourself you don't have time. You're not being intentional with your time. Like, what you need to do is see what activities that you're wasting your time. Because that's what it's really happening, is you're wasting time on certain things throughout the day. So do a self-reflection of a week of your schedule and see what you're doing, and just be honest with yourself and cut out the stuff that's not making you any money or not being productive towards your business. That's a lot of the time what it is.
And just to piggyback on that, small things over time end up compounding in a big, big way. So rather than trying to accomplish everything in one day, if you just accomplish this today, and this tomorrow, and this the next day, by the end of the year, look back and you're gonna be really impressed at what you've built. So just take, if you can't take 10 steps in a day, take 1, So that, you're gonna get there if you're just being consistent. There was one back here.
You guys are full steps now, but when you started going from 10, 20 families a month to really getting after this thing and finding consistency, what are some of those changes that you made to find consistency in your business?
Okay. So the question was?
The question was, when you were helping 10 to 20 families, what do you think were the changes that you made or differences that you made to start helping 30, 40 families a month?
Run a full schedule and buy more leads.
And being honest with your schedule. I think that's a lot of times too, is people, it's that honesty question. Like, I'm working on, I'm putting in 40 hours. Like, you're saying that because that's the American narrative, that we need to work 40 hours when we're full time. But like, realistically, if you take a running log, like, how many hours are you putting towards this business? Don't count windshield time. Don't count scrolling through Facebook as recruiting. Like, be honest with yourself. But as far as like protect the families, for myself, it was just consistently investing in the leads. Instead of trying to squeeze one lead order for a week and a half, it was putting in a lead order every single dial day. And then that gave me an inventory of people to continuously call, and not being afraid to invest. And understanding at the beginning, I'm paying for practice. Like, you don't have to pay for this training. You don't have to pay for the CRM, but the leads are your way of you paying for the practice. If you start looking at it that way, you don't need to be insanely profitable at the beginning. You just need to get really good at what you're doing with the practice. But so many people are like, I want to 5X, I want to 10X my investment. That will come once the skill set is developed. But in the first couple months, it's you literally paying for the practice to get that ROI that you're looking for. Like me, I literally would place an order of 30 Facebook leads, probably book 10 to 14 appointments, and I'd help 3 to 4. And those are realistically my numbers. And I was breaking even, or the weeks I got a little bit more, I'm like, woo, I made some money this week. But if I broke even, I wasn't mad. I knew I was paying to get better. And a lot of people, when they're new, they're expecting, once again, they relate to the highlight reels that this guy makes this much money. It's like, no, you're paying for the practice now to get that investment, the ROI on it bigger. So it's just really being consistent with work, being honest with myself, and then consistently buying leads. And then expanding my lead portfolio, I would say. All I was running was Facebook Final Expense at first, and I put this mental barrier in my head, that mortgage protection, where these people who were so smart, they had jobs, they're sophisticated, but in all reality, they were just normal people just that had a full-time job, and that were able to have a credit score well enough for them to get a house. Like, there was nothing different from the final expense realm to the mortgage protection realm, but I was putting it in my mind that it was a daunting thing, but in reality, it's just people, and you're dealing with the working class. So I just started to expand my lead portfolio as far as mortgage protection, final expense, and then we started getting these internet leads, and they were amazing. I don't think you guys understand. Like, when I got in this business, 20 families a month was a big deal, like a big deal. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but Andrew Taylor used to wear a 20K hat, and that was like a big deal. Now with these internet leads, it's 40 families a month. That is the new norm, but it didn't get to there without the internet leads. So like, it's been the secret sauce for us is we got another lead type added to our portfolio, and now people are winning at a high level.
And then expand your vision, I would say. Like, when I first started, I was working like my county that I lived in. And then the thought of like going to a different county was like mind blowing. Like, I couldn't even, I was like, oh, an hour? Like, you want me to drive an hour away? Like, I'm going to buy leads in a different county? No way. And now it's like, I don't even run within like 3 hours of where I live. Like, every single day, every run day, 3 hours there, 3 hours back, or out of state and back. So redefine what's hard. So for me, it's like 3 hours, 5 hours, cool. That's like one day I can do that there and back. So challenge yourself and get uncomfortable.
So I've heard from multiple people that they use different programs for their CRM, for the leads. What would be some of your top favorite programs that you've bought leads from?
Are you talking about outside the CRM?
Outside the CRM.
Vendors. So what are the favorite vendors outside of the ILC or CRM?
Right, your experience.
I'm pretty much all CRM. I've used Game Time and Bang Bang leads, Game Time leads and Bang Bang leads. Other than that, it's been all CRM. So that's what I've been using.
Game Time leads and Happy Agent leads is how I got started in the business, because there was no internet leads, and there was no leads in the CRM. It was bone dry, so I had to go find leads. So Happy Agent and Game Time, they're still around, so that means they're credible. 2.5 years. I really love those for Facebook Final Expense. EverQuote is a campaign that they'll match you your first 500. So you get $1,000 worth of leads for $500. And then I think that there's Google leads, but it's just really, you can search any of this out there, and then before you buy the leads, ask somebody about this lead vendor, because so many people will go, well, I bought these leads and they're not delivering them to me. It's like, well, you didn't even run that by me, because I would have told you not to actually give that company any money. But Leadrilla is another company that does a variety of different leads. Bang Bang is another one. If you go to FFLamerica.com, there's a leads section on that page with different vendors outside of the CRM. So you can use that resource that we utilize. FFLamerica.com. That page has got every tool and resource you could possibly need on there.
Mm-hmm. What do I hear?
We have questions about the different companies for the leads. Who do you reach out to besides the person that's at the lead company?
The person who brought you in this business. The person who brought you in this business.
My upline.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to use that word, but you can call him upline. Yeah. Manager. I'm not a big upline guy, but that's who I'd reach out to. If you don't have a good communication with him, reach above him. So whatever organization you're a part of, just find someone that you can reach out to.
Second question: when you're putting your business into place, the work spots, the tele-CRM, the phone burner, I know you can't recommend anything. You suggest it would help. So a new person with no upline, basically.
Well, we can figure out who you're with and get you in contact with someone who will give you some time. So before you leave, let's figure out who you're with. First of all, I don't want you to leave and feel like you don't have support because you took time to invest in yourself. So I'll take time to figure out who you work with. But what I would say, like priority-wise, is that what you're saying? Like
what you subscribe to, phone burner.
Okay, so the question is as a new agent, what are these different things to invest into your business? So I would say phone burner is the most important because it's going to allow you to dial more leads and to contact more people and to take the emotionality out of dialing. And dialing is the phones is 80% of this business, so I'd say that's probably the number one priority that I would invest in right away. And then work spots is right behind that because you're going to be consistently purchasing leads, so then you can get discounts using the work spots. So in that order, and then the tele CRM, I don't know a lot.
The insurance genie and tele CRM.
You said what?
The insurance genie or the insurance toolbox.
The insurance toolkits is something that I think is very valuable because it's an underwriting system. So everyone's biggest fear is I don't know the products, I don't know the underwriting. For $30 a month, you can get a software that allows you to put in the health condition and the medications and it spits out what they can medically qualify for. So it's an underwriting system for agents. So I'd say those three. I don't know about the tele CRM. I've never utilized that. We have a free CRM, so I'm not a big fan of investing in a CRM when we already have one. So I would say those three things could set you up for success. So that's phone burner, work spots, and insurance toolkits. And you use a discount code for all of those. Besides work spots doesn't have a discount code, but phone burner has a discount. You go to phoneburneragency.com, I believe. Okay, and then insurance toolkits, if you put in FFL 15, you get 15% off and it gives you a direct Family First Life portal with all of our carriers.
Let's do last question.
Well, it's not a big question, but when it comes to using phone burner, do you have to put your phone on like a certain website so it doesn't pop up scam likely?
So the question is, using phone burner, is there a scam likely feature to kind of help out with that? Yes, if you pay, you can buy your local ID number. So we can probably get together afterwards and show you how to do that. But yeah, there's a way you can utilize a local ID that doesn't pop up as scam likely. So thank you guys. It was great to be a part of this, and hope you guys crush it this week.
Absolutely.
What's going on, everybody? You know what time it is. It is time to give away $1,000 worth of leads. If you commented on last week's video, which is playing right over here, you're automatically entered. Siri heard me. That was awkward. If you commented on last week's video, which is playing right there, you're automatically entered to win for $250 worth of leads. We're giving $250 of leads away to 4 lucky people today. So let's get to it. Before we get started, leave a comment right down below if you want to be entered in next week's drawing. Let's get to it. Our first winner is Carolyn MK. Change can be as easy as taking the small steps to create small habits that lead to big changes. This will lead to success. Let's go make a difference. Thanks, Paul. Our second winner is Donnie Kuharik. You can correct me later on that, Donnie. This is a very valuable podcast. Thank you so much, Paul. Let's go. Our third winner is Marsha Taylor. Destination of 1,000 miles starts with action. Step putting on your shoes and step, repeat, step, repeat. Thanks, Paul. Just start, get up and do it. Our fourth winner for this week's giveaway is Glenn Nazaire. Very true. Small change in habits go a long way. Guys, it's that simple. Leave a comment. You're automatically entered to win. You could be one of these 4 lucky people and win $250 worth of free leads. So leave a comment, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.